Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on a third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So good morning guys, hope you're all doing well today. Got a huge video for you here. 5 people, including gunmen, dead in shooting at New York City high-rise, and New York City gunman ID'd as Shane Tamura. So we're going to cover this today. I'm going to show you how this is all connected to the soon removal of Donald Trump, something we've been talking about for a long time. So I was up all night. I didn't go to bed till about 4:30 in the morning, and woke up, put a few more things together, and now we're live. I covered a lot of this live last night, but I have some must-see new information, and I put all the slides together, and it's all ready to go. So let's see how we're looking on the screen here. We'll give it a few minutes, wait for a few people to jump in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Am I glitching, guys? I just saw myself glitch on the screen. Let me know. Can you guys hear me? Give me one sec, guys. I'm not sure if I glitched out or not. Guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Helps out the algorithm and helps more people find the video. And also, please hit the share button, that way we can get this out to more people. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. How you doing, Poland? Much love. Before we get started, somebody in the chat, let me know if you can hear me okay. Make sure we're not breaking up or buffering or anything. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Alright guys, here we go. Hey Stone River, how you doing? Can you guys hear me okay? It looked like I was freezing up on my end. I'm not sure if I was or not. Is there any issues with the stream, guys? Let me know before we get started. Alright. Yeah, we're good, Stone River? Alright, I'll just get going here. 5 people, including gunmen, dead in shooting at New York City high-rise. New York City gunman ID'd as Shane Tamura after deadly shooting that killed NYPD officer. This article from July 28th. Alright guys, we're going to break this down all by the numbers using Gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. All right, guys, this is connected to the soon removal of Donald Trump. All right, first thing I want to point out, here's your suspect, Shane D. Tamura. Look at the date that his concealed firearms permit was issued. June 14th. That's Donald Trump's birthday. And this happened in New York. Donald Trump is from New York. All right, so that's the first big connection. Hey, Katina. Katina, can you hear me okay? Is there any kind of buffering or freezing with the stream? Let me know. But anyways, check out the date on his ID. Issued 6/14. This is his concealed carry permit. Okay? Issued 6/14. That's Donald Trump's, thank you, G. That's Donald Trump's birthday. All right? And this happened in New York. Donald Trump is from New York. And I'm telling you, this is connected to the soon removal of Donald Trump. The shooter drove across the country in recent days, arriving in New York City today. Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said at a news conference tonight. All right, thank you, guys. Okay, so the name on his card, Shane D. Tamura, equals 44. We heard from Jessica Tisch, which equals 44. Shooting, 44. Mass shooter, 44. Gunfire, 44. Officer, 44. Kill, 44. On a day with 44 date numerology, 7 plus 28 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 44. It was a 44-story building, guys, and it happened 44 days after Trump's birthday. Are you kidding me? And again, that's the date on his card. 44-story building, 44 days from Trump's birthday, on a day with 44 date numerology. Shane D. Tamura, 44. Jessica Tisch, 44. Shooting, mass shooter, gunfire, officer, and kill. He killed an officer. They're all 44. All right? Everybody should be hitting the like button already, because it's already undeniable. The officer who was killed is from the 47th precinct, and the suspect lived in Nevada, which equals 47. And remember, we had another shooting in Nevada and Reno before this happened on the same day, right? And Trump is number 47, guys. That's my point. So the officer who was killed is from the 47th precinct, and the guy's from Nevada, 47. His name's Shane, 47. President, 47, and Trump equals 47. All right? Let me just check something real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah, he's 36, 3 6s. They said it happened around 6:30, and New York equals 666. But yeah, guys, 47th precinct, right? Trump is number 47. Trump equals 47. The suspect is named Shane, 47, from Nevada, 47, president, 47. His name is Shane Tamura. Tamura equals 88. Shane equals 88. Trump equals 88. And here's a late addition here. It says he grew up in Santa Clarita. Santa Clarita is also 88. And how big is the 88 with Trump? Trump was allegedly shot in Butler 88 months after the Snoop Dogg video Lavender, where Snoop Dogg's pointing the gun at Trump. The would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks. His birthday, 9/20/03. That's the 8,888th prime number. We have Donnie Darko set in the year 88. And the numbers on Donnie's arm add up to 88. And the guy who plays Donald J. Darko is Jacob Benjamin Gyllenhaal, 88. And the guy who plays Frank the Rabbit was born 88 days from Trump's birthday. And Frank equals Donald in 3 ciphers. And Rabbit equals Trump in 2 ciphers. And I Pet Goat 2, you have the rabbit with the bullet hole in the upper ear, like Trump. And that movie takes place in Middlesex, which is 888, like Mar-a-Lago, 888, Donald J. Trump, 888. COVID declared a pandemic 888 days after Trump's calm before the storm statement, The Art of the Deal, 888. Back to the Future, Biff represents Trump. They got to reach 88 miles per hour. The raid on Mar-a-Lago, August 8th, 88. Trump's number to text, 88022. And then while they were putting up the 88-foot tall flagpoles, Trump was talking about 88 billion in tariffs. All right. So the 88, huge number with Trump. What are the odds that his first and last name are both 88? Shane 88, Tamura 88, like Trump is 88. On the top of this card, which has Trump's birthday on it, it says Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, which is 159. It says Tamura then went up to the 33rd floor. We'll get to the 33s later. Of course, New York equals 33. Tamura then went up to the 33rd floor, which is Rudin Management, and fired multiple rounds, killing one person before shooting himself in the chest. Rudin Management, 159. Mass shooting, 159. Donald Trump, 159. How about that? And remember when Trump had his indictment for the classified documents on the 159th day of the year? Just showing you how big the 159 is with Trump. June 8th, indicted for classified documents, the 159th day of the year, indictment 159, Donald Trump 159. Or how about the indictment for the insurrection? That was 159 days before the anniversary of the insurrection, when insurrection is 159, like indictment and Donald Trump 159. Now the old 68, which we've been talking about a lot this whole time. Shane Tamura, 68. Donald J. Trump, 68. Donald John Trump, 68. Manhattan, New York, 68. Active shooting, 68. Trump assassination, 68. And this happened 6 months and 8 days after Trump assumed office. So you have all these 68s, right? Remember the Minnesota lawmaker that was killed on Trump's birthday, the day of the No Kings protests, by a guy named Vance, and J.D. Vance would become president if something happened to Trump? Vance Bolter. I'll get to that in a second. Let me get through the 68s. But Minnesota lawmaker, 68. No Kings protest, 68. Trump's birthday, 68. Shell formation, 68. That was from James Comey, the 86-47. Butler shooting, 68. They try to blame it on the head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle. 68. The would-be assassin, Thomas Crook, 68. The Apprentice, 68. Mar-a-Lago, 68. And Donald J. Trump, 68. That's a lot. Remember this story? Iran could assassinate sunbathing Trump with a drone attack. Sunbathing Trump, 68. Drone attack, 68. We had Robert De Niro, who was outside of the hush money trial. He's from Taxi Driver, where he plans to take out a politician. Charles Palantine, 68. Taxi Driver, 68. And back to the 88s, this is the scene where he plans to do it. You got the 88 guy in the crowd right there. Everyone's got a plain shirt except for this 88, because Trump is 88. And then back to the 68s, you got Robert De Niro in another movie, Machete, where he talks about 68 cents during a scene where there's a sniper involved, and Senator McLaughlin is giving a speech about border security and immigration, kind of like Donald Trump. And during the speech, McLaughlin says, "Let me tell you what change that'll bring, 68 cents. All right, this is with a sniper on the rooftop. Robert De Niro in another movie talking about 68 cents when Trump assassination, Donald John Trump, 68. And then look, Senator John McLaughlin, 95-112, like President Donald Trump, 95-112. Then remember we had Travis Keith Lang. He made the threats against Trump. Travis Keith Lang, 68. And he's 47 years old, like Trump equals 47 and Trump's number 47. Don't forget, Raleigh shooting was also 68, and the Raleigh shooting with Thomas Crook, 68. It was 6 months and 8 days before the inauguration. And now, what do we have here? We have this 6 months and 8 days after the inauguration. How about that? With Shane Tamura, 68. Shane Tamura, 68, in the same cipher as Thomas Crook, 68. Isn't that wild? And then remember Kimberly Cheadle, 68, like Butler shooting, and Trump was shot allegedly 666 days after she assumed office. And then remember the when Trump was indicted on June 8th, 6/8, Donald J. Trump, 68, Donald John Trump, 68, for the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago, 68, indicted 68. All right, I want to come back here, and let me turn this around for a second. I want to look something up. One second, guys. It's already getting warm in this garage. Might have to turn the air on. One second, guys. Okay, long story short, I also wanted to mention that Kimberly Cheadle equals Butler, Pennsylvania. That's the main point that I want to show you. So remember Kimberly Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service when Butler happened. Kimberly Cheadle, 256, Butler, Pennsylvania, 256. And we'll go through all the 68s here. But remember, it was 666 days after Kimberly Cheadle assumed office, right? Butler. Now back to the 68s. Remember Kimberly Cheadle 68, Butler shooting 68, Trump assassination 68. Now you remember the Minnesota lawmaker who was killed on Trump's birthday, the day of the No Kings protest, by a guy named Vance? I just want to remind you some of the key points of that. Remember, Vance Bolter was the suspect. If something happened to Trump, Vance would become president, right? And that happened in Minnesota. Minnesota 13352, James David Vance 13352, president 13352. And this happened on Trump's birthday, right? June 14th. Vance Bolter's birthday, July 23rd. So it happened 40 days from his birthday. JD Vance equals 40. And they said he weighed 220 pounds. And he was impersonating police, 220. The governor of Minnesota, Timothy James Walz, 220. Donald John Trump, 220. Did I say the governor of Minnesota? Yeah. I'm still tired, guys. Sorry. Timothy James Walz, 220. Impersonating police, 220. Donald John Trump, 220. They said he weighed 220 pounds. Largest manhunt in the state's history, 185. Donald John Trump, 185. Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman, 128. Representative Melissa Hortman, 128. Assassin Vance Bolter, 128. President Donald John Trump, 128. His initials, Vance Bolter, VB. V is 22, B is 2. So there's your 222. Like Trump, 222. Donald John Trump Sr., 222. Donald John Trump dies, 222, which I had to block out for Facebook just in case. So let me show you that. Donald John Trump dies, 222. Trump Organization, 222. Order Out of Chaos, 222. And we're going to go through all the 222s again later because New York equals 222 and Shane equals 222. But don't forget, Trump just won the election 222 days from his birthday. Ivana Trump died 222 days from her birthday. Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday. There was a 222-page lawsuit against the Trump Organization where he took the stand 222 days from his birthday. Of course, the first U.S. case of COVID was 222 days from Trump's birthday. Wuhan coronavirus, 222. Declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. And don't forget, Obama tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday, and COVID declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday. But anyways, VB, Vance Bolter, 222. They called him the face of evil, 48. Donald Trump, 48, who was shot 48 weeks before his birthday. When Donald Trump and Trump shot her, 48. And then just a few more key points. This happened 145 days after Trump took office. Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman, 145. Impersonating law enforcement, 145. See the overlap between Vance Luther Bolter, Representative Melissa Hortman, and targeted shootings? They're all like a perfect match. Vance Bolter equals police officer. He was impersonating a police officer. Representative Melissa Hortman and Senator John Hoffman, 159. Donald Trump, 159. We covered the 159s earlier. Remember? Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, 159. He went up to the 33rd floor, which is Rudin Management, 159, like mass shooting and Donald Trump, 159. Indicted on the 159th day of the year. And then another indictment, 159 days for the anniversary of the insurrection. That's the indictment for the insurrection. When insurrection, indictment, and Donald Trump, they're all 159. But anyways, this stuff is so complicated, it's hard to keep track of everything. But I'm trying my best. Let's see, do I need to mention the 248s? Remember, this happened in Minnesota where Timothy James Walz is the governor, and he was running for vice president against Vance. Anyways, the birthdays of Walz and Vance are separated by 248 days. Like Trump assassination, 248, President Donald Trump, 248, shot, 248. We had the Secret Service shoot an armed man near the White House when the U.S. was 248 years and 248 days old. And the Secret Service, 248. We had Travis Keith Lang, 47, like Trump, 47, made threats against Trump. Irmo, South Carolina, 248. We had James Brian Comey, 248, with the 8647 shell formation. And Trump's mugshot, a.k.a. headshot, was on August 24th, the 24th day of the 8th month. The 8647 came 8647 days after 9/11. And then if you break it up, kind of like how the 8 is in a different color, you could also say it looks like an S, right? So anyways, if you did S 647, it would equal 666. So it's just interesting that it's a different color, kind of like, do something different with it. The guy was arrested in Green Isle, 49, Donald J. Trump, 49. Green Isle, Minnesota, 176. No Kings protest. Donald J. Trump, 176. We're going to talk about the 176 with this new suspect in a minute. And then this happened 50 days from the birthday of J.D. Vance. And Vance Balter equals 50. And J.D. Vance is the 50th vice president. And he got arrested in Green Isle, 50, and Donald is 50. But yeah, this is where we started. I probably won't recap all of that again when I do the recap, but here's your main point. That Minnesota lawmaker, that's why I brought it up. Minnesota lawmaker, 68, on Trump's birthday, 68, the day of the No Kings protest, 68. The suspect was named Vance. Like J.D. Vance would become president if something happened to Trump. And again, James David Vance, 13352, Minnesota, 13352, like president. All right, so we went through all the 68s. And then Trump was shot 48 weeks before his birthday. Trump shot 48, Donald Trump 48, Trump rally 48. On the 195th day of the year, when Trump shooting, remember Butler was on the 195th day of the year, Trump shooting 195, the one victim, Corey Comparator, 195, and then you had Ronald Lee Sivrud make threats against Trump. He's got the 195. Trump head wound, 195. And speaking of Trump head wound, remember they were using symbolism from Revelation 13:3. The whole verse, Revelation 13:3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. That equals 1,086. Crooks was exactly 1,086 weeks and 0 days old when Butler happened. Thomas M. Crooks, 1,086. The president, 1,086. Gunshot wound, 1,086. Look at this. Here's your new suspect from New York. Shane Devon Tamura, 1,086. Can you believe it, guys? And that's Revelation 13:3, right? And back to James David Vance, 133, like Minnesota and president. And the suspect lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, 133, like government, White House, president. They're all 133. This happened in New York, 222. Donald John Trump Sr., 222. Donald John Trump dies, 222. Trump Organization, 222. Shane, 222. And Trump, 222. And I just gave you all the 222s because we brought up Vance Balter. And you know what I forgot to mention? I forgot to mention the tip number. Not only is his initials Vance Balter, V is 22, B is 2. So Vance Balter is 222. Kind of like Big Beautiful Bill and Build Back Better. But anyways, look at the tip number. 222. Look at that. So Vance Balter 222 with the tip number 222. And then this suspect is Shane 222. Happened in New York, New York 222. And again, Trump won the election 222 days from his birthday. Ivana Trump died 222 days from her birthday. Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday. There was a 222-page lawsuit against the Trump Organization where he took the stand 222 days from his birthday. And the first U.S. case of COVID was 222 days from Trump's birthday. Wuhan coronavirus 222 declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. Then Obama tested positive 222 days from his birthday, and COVID declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday. Don't forget the Antichrist Barack Obama 222. So including the end date, this happened 322 days before Trump's birthday. Are your messages disappearing? I can see your messages, Nikki. I can see all of them. Everything okay in the chat, guys? Let me know. But including the end date, this was 322 days before Trump's birthday. 322, the number of skull and bones. And then in Gematria, skull and bones equals 76, like Donald John Trump 76, and active shooting 76. Manhattan 29, gunman 29, Trump 29. And remember, Butler was 29 days after Trump's birthday. Much love, Decoding with Cody in the chat. Good to see you. So check this out. I finally found the birthday for Shane Devon Tamura, which is right here, January 19th, 1998. Look at this, guys. It happened 176 days before the guy's birthday, and I brought up that number last night in the live decode. We decoded this all on the fly. Before I even had the guy's birthday, I connected it to the 176. Why? Because his name, Shane Tamura, is 176. He killed an NYPD officer, 176. Donald J. Trump, 176. Now we get his birthday. This happened 176 days before the guy's birthday. How's that for a confirmation? And it happened 27 weeks after Trump took office, and the suspect is 27 years old, and Ritual is 27. And now that we have his birthday, look, he was born 220 days after Trump's birthday. Donald John Trump equals 220. And it also, the day also had 60 date numerology. New York, or 7 plus 28 plus 25 is 60. New York City 60, Police 60, Blackstone 60, Donald Trump 60. Let me take a sip of water. Hold on. Remember, it happened in the Blackstone building. So it also happened on a 60 date numerology. New York City, Police, Blackstone, and Donald Trump, they all equal 60. And then not including the end date, look at this. Not including the end date, it happened 321 days before Trump's birthday. Manhattan 321, Blackstone 321 in the same cipher. Can you believe that? How about that, guys? This happened at the Blackstone building in Manhattan. They both equal 321, 321 days before Trump's birthday, not including the end date. And then President of the United States, 321, like it says right here, President of the United States. And then the suspect was born in Hawaii, 321, like Obama, born in Hawaii, right? And this happened on Park Avenue in New York, New York, on the day leaving 156 days left in the year. Park Avenue, 156, New York, New York, 156. And remember, he went up to 433, right? 33 when you write it out, 156. And the 156 prime number is 9/11. And where did New York happen? Or when? When did 9/11 happen? What am I saying? What happened on 9/11, guys? We had the towers in New York, New York, right? I'm still tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep. The 156 prime number is 9/11, which happened in New York, New York. After apparently barricading himself on the 33rd floor, the suspect took himself out, allegedly. And then the police officer he killed, Decoded Islam. Okay? So look at this, guys. He took himself out on the 33rd floor, New York, 33, police 33. The police officer he killed is named Decoded, 33. Remember, the suspect is from Hawaii, 33, and Masonry, 33. And for a little bonus, I guess it's worth mentioning, the mayor, Eric Adams, his birthday is September 1st. It was also 330 days from the mayor's birthday. 33 when you drop the 0. But come on now. What are the odds? He takes himself out on 433. In New York, 33. Police, 33. Decoded, 33. Hawaii, 33. Masonry, 33. The highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. Jessica Chen, who was on the second floor of the 44-story building, said she and about 150 people were in the middle of a presentation when the shooting started. Jessica Chen, 9642, Freemason, 9642. Jessica Chen, 66, New York, New York, 66, mass shooting, 66. And you ready for this? This is where it gets crazy. So the suspect, or the officer that he allegedly killed, Decoded Islam, 201-84, the Jesuit order, 201-84. How about that? Decoded Islam, 201, right? Back to Jessica Chen. She also has the 201. How about that? And then remember his ID, which had Trump's birthday on it? It said Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is also 201. And how about this? And shout out to Simple Truth TV. I saw this on his channel. Remember this happened in the Blackstone building? The CEO of Blackstone is Steven Schwartzman. His birthday, February 14th. Guys, this happened 201 days before his birthday. How about that? But look at this. Schwartzman was chairman of President Donald Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum. So he's got a connection to Donald Trump. I mean, wow. And then don't forget all the 201s we just talked about. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, and Ozzy Osbourne. You add up all their names together, it equaled 201. Then you add up their ages together. 76, 71, 54, it equaled 201. Ozzy Osbourne equals 201, and all the other 201s with Ozzy. And then Hulk Hogan started wrestling while the United States was 201 years old, and he was 201 centimeters tall. And his restaurant, which I think was Hogan's Hangout, 201. And then Malcolm Jamal Warner dead on the 201st day of the year, and there were 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show, and he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, I believe, where they have the 201 area code. But anyways, look at all them 201s. Decoded Islam, 201. Jessica Chen, 201. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, 201. And this happened at the Blackstone building. And this happened 201 days before the Blackstone CEO's birthday, who has a connection with Donald Trump. Wow. And then look at this. His name's Stephen Alan Schwartzman, 95 and 112, like President Donald Trump, 95 and 112. And it was 165 days after his birthday. The guy, the CEO of the Blackstone Group, it's 165 days after his birthday, and mass shooting is 165. How about that? Hold on, let me look something up. All right, we're almost through this, and then I'll do the recap for the people who came in late. I'm probably not going to recap everything from Vance Bolter, but you never know. And remember, Blackstone equal Donald Trump. Okay. Which I talked about earlier. Yeah, Event 201, the pandemic simulation with William Henry Gates 201. Here. I'll just show you the Ozzy Osbourne slide here. Trying to find the slide with their names on it. So yeah, long story short, guys. Shout out to Decoding with Cody for this find. The big three, we got Malcolm Jamal Warner, Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan. You add up their names, it equals 201. Then you add up their ages, 71, 76, and 54. It equals 201. And then Hulk Hogan started wrestling when the U.S. was 201 years old. He was 201 centimeters tall. His restaurant, Hogan's Hangout, 201. Then you had Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ignatius Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order. We just had the death of the first Jesuit Pope, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, who lived in Suite 201 at the Doma Sancti Marte, 201. Catholic Pope, 201. The Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. And Pope Francis died 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi, who he got his name from. And then Ozzy Osbourne, 201. He tested positive for COVID, and it was announced by Sharon Osbourne 201 days from Sharon's birthday. And Ozzy and Sharon were born 201 weeks apart. And he bit the head off a bat on 20/1. And COVID connected to the bat, right? And then we had Event 201, the pandemic simulation with William Henry Gates 201. Then we had another simulation called Preparing for Disease X, which was held 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic and 201 days from Obama's birthday. Don't forget That Old Serpent 201, the son of perdition Barack Hussein Obama 201. And Event 201 was on 10/18, like Luke 10/18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And then Ronnie James Dio's connection with Black Sabbath lies in his role as the band's vocalist, replacing Ozzy Osbourne. And he died May 16th, 2010, 201 days from Ozzy's birthday. And then you had Malcolm Jamal Warner die on the 201st day of the year. There were 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show, and he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, where they have the 201 area code. And then since I brought up Ozzy, I gotta mention the craziest part about Ozzy. Where is it? Where is it? So Ozzy died 232 days after his birthday. Ozzy 232, Satan 232. He died 2 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days from the anniversary of the Church of Satan, like 232, right? And the Osbournes their Osbournes podcast, episode 203, Satan, Bilderberg Group, and the Illuminati invite only. That was the Satan episode. That was episode 203. Then Ozzy died on day 203 of the year, and Satanic Rituals 203. And shout out to Decoding with Cody. He pointed out that Ozzy died 666 days after that Satan podcast, which was on September 26, 2023. So Ozzy died 666 days after the Satan podcast. Podcast 666, Rockstar 666. And then Ozzy died 666 months after Black Sabbath's first single, Evil Woman, which was released January 9th, 1970. Can you believe all that? But anyways, the reason we brought up all the 201s, Ditterol Islam, that's the officer's name, 201. We had a witness, Jessica Chen, 201. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department on the ID that had Trump's birthday, 201. And then it was the Blackstone building, 201 days before the Blackstone CEO's birthday. So you got all them 201s there. And remember, the CEO, Schwartzman, was chairman of President Donald Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum. Much love, Gene Spliced and Lowly Man for Christ. Good to see you guys. So it happened 165 days after the CEO's birthday, mass shooting, 165. And then we heard from Alexander Stupak, 30, was standing on the street nearby when he heard gunshots ring out. His name, 187, New York shooting 187, Society of Jesus 187, 187 the homicide code. And then, look at this, we got the guy's birthday, right? January 19th, happened 191 days from his birthday. Like active shooter 191, Society of Jesus 191. Didn't I just talk about the 191 yesterday with Stephen Paddock when I did, which I'm not going to go over the whole thing, obviously, but we connected Reno to what happened at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. The Vegas shooting, remember, was October 1st, 2017, and the shooter, Stephen Paddock, April 9th, happened 191 days from his birthday, like active shooter. How about that? Same pattern, different day. But yeah, that shooting in Reno, the point is, Joe Lombardo, the governor, he was the sheriff during Vegas. And anyways, it happened 66 days from the anniversary of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. And mass shooting, 66. Stephen Paddock, 66. Jason Aldean, 66, who was doing the concert. The Las Vegas Strip, 66. Mandalay Bay Hotel, 159. Mass shooting, 159. Reno shooting, 159. Shout out to Gematrinator, 85, Derek. Joe Lombardo became sheriff January 5th, 2015. And it happened 1,001 days after he became sheriff in Paradise, Nevada, which is 1,001. On the 274th day of the year when Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, 274. The Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, 274. The Route 91 Harvest Music Festival on the day leaving, 91 days left in the year. The Society of Jesus, 91. Shout out to Derek for that info too. And then I just covered the 191. Jason Aldean, also 201, like the Jesuit Order 201, the Las Vegas Strip 201. Here's the Illuminati card game, Las Vegas. See the Jack of Spades and the Ace of Spades. This is Jason Aldean's tattoo with the Jesuit-looking black hole sun. Don't forget, black hole sun is 201, like Jason Aldean. And yeah, there's a lot more I could say, but anyways, I guess I could leave the 191 here for if we talk about it on the recap. But yeah, look, you had Stephen Paddock, right, the active shooter in Vegas, happened 191 days from his birthday, and now we got this guy in New York, 191 days from his birthday when active shooter 191. And the leader of the Jesuits, Arturo Sosa, happened 107 days before his birthday, shooting 107. And then the officer who was killed, Diderol Islam, 51, like mass shooting 51. And it happened in New York, 666, and the suspect is born in Hawaii, 666, like Obama. Make sure you watch the video I did the other day, 666 and 201, all the connections to Obama. Here, just for fun. Just for fun, since we're all here. Add up the 4 base ciphers of Barack Hussein Obama, it equals 666. The day after Obama won the election, on November 4th, 2008, the very next day in his state where he was senator in Illinois, the pick 3 was 666, the day after he won the election. For Obama's 60th birthday, on Obama.org, they asked people to chip in by donating $6, $60, or $600. Add that up, it equals 666. We got the news of Obama's chef ID'd his paddleboarder who drowned near former President Martha's Vineyard estate. That was in the news 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days after Obama's last full day as president. And it happened at Turkeyland Cove, which is 666, like the fallen angel 666. And we got the news of Michelle Obama's mom dead May 31st, 2024. You go back 666 days, you land on Obama's birthday. And they say Obama's from Hawaii, which equals 666, and Obama started his political career in Chicago, where they have the zip code 60606 and 60666. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for is the number of a man, his number is 666. Number of a man, Barack Obama, 666, born on the 216th day of the year. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Barack equals 216. Strong's 216, lightning. And then, Barack means lightning. Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. His birthday, the day leaving 149 days left in the year. Antichrist, 149. Revelation is 149. And lightning bolt, 149. And then there's a lot more that goes with it. But here, let me give you the second slide. Where's my second slide? Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Strong's 1300, Barack, lightning. Strong's 1116, Obama, a high place. So Barack Obama means lightning from a high place. And don't forget, when you hear Obama's slogan backwards, yes, we can. When you hear it backwards, you'll hear thank you, Satan. And when he announced he was running for president, he was 45 years, 6 months, and 6 days old. Strong's 4566, Satan. And Obama is 32, 103, 31, like dragon. And dragon, another name for Satan. And it would take me too long to recap everything. But yeah, I did a live stream the other day. I think it's one of the best lives I ever did. Make sure you check it out. It's titled 666 and 201. And it's got a picture of Obama, Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, and Malcolm Jamal Warner. And then also, shout out to Simple Truth for this connection. It was in the Blackstone building. Blackstone 102, Police 102. Blackstone 30, Police 30. Blackstone 60, Police 60. All right, guys, I think that's it. All right, if anybody would like to support the channel, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated. I am not monetized, which means I don't make 1 penny from YouTube for doing these videos. It's you guys that get me through, and I could really use the help right now. Support is way down. So if anybody wants to help out, very much appreciated. This is a lot of work. I was up till 4:30 in the morning putting this together after I went live for 3 hours. So I did 2 live streams yesterday. So help me out. Very much appreciated. And thank you so much to everyone who does support. All right, we're going to do a quick recap here. I don't know if I'm going to cover every single thing that I mentioned in the first go-around. So if you came in late, you might want to just restart from the beginning. But here, let me give you the quick rundown. All right, long story short, I think this is connected to the soon removal of Trump. Here's the guy's concealed firearms permit. What date was it issued? June 14th. That's Donald Trump's birthday. Issued on Donald Trump's birthday, okay? This happened on a day with 44 date numerology. All right. Shane D. Tamura, 44. We heard from the police commissioner, Jessica Tisch, 44. Shooting, mass shooter, gunfire, officer, kill. They're all 44. It happened in a 44-story building, guys, 44 days after Trump's birthday. Are you kidding me? 44-story building, 44 days from Trump's birthday on a day with 44 date numerology. Shane D. Tamura, 44. Jessica Tisch, shooting, mass shooter, gunfire, officer killed. They're all 44. The officer was from the 47th precinct. Like Trump equals 47, and Trump's number 47, and President's 47. And the suspect is Shane, 47, and he's from Nevada, 47. Tamura, 88. Shane, 88. Trump, 88. I went through all the 88s earlier. Should I do it again? Trump was shot in Butler 88 months after the Snoop Dogg video Lavender, where Snoop Dogg's pointing the gun at Trump. Thomas Crook's birthday, 9/20/03. That's the 8,888th prime. We have Donnie Darko set in the year 88, and the numbers on Donnie's arm add up to 88. And Jacob Benjamin Gyllenhaal plays Donnie. His name equals 88. Frank the Rabbit gets shot in that movie. Frank the Rabbit was born, the guy who plays Frank the Rabbit was born 88 days from Trump's birthday. Frank equals Donald in 3 ciphers, and Rabbit equals Trump in 2 ciphers. I Pet Goat 2, you have the rabbit with a bullet hole in the ear. And that movie takes place in Middlesex, 888, Mar-a-Lago, 888, Donald J. Trump, 888, COVID declared a pandemic 888 days after Trump's calm before the storm statement, The Art of the Deal, 888. Back to the Future, Biff represents Trump. They got to reach 88 miles per hour. And then the raid on Mar-a-Lago, August 8th, 88. Trump's number to text, 88022, and they did the 88-foot-tall flagpoles while Trump was talking about $88 billion and tariffs. And you see here, it says he grew up in Santa Clarita. That's another 88 for the record. Santa Clarita, 88 to go with Tamura, 88, Shane, 88, Trump, 88. And again, he's got Trump's birthday on his card. That's so crazy. On his card, it says Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department 159. He took himself out on the 33rd floor, which is Rudin Management 159, mass shooting 159, Donald Trump 159. And then remember, Trump had his indictment for the classified documents on the 159th day of the year when Donald Trump 159, indictment 159. Then he had the indictment for the insurrection 159 days from the anniversary of the insurrection, when insurrection, indictment, and Donald Trump are 159. Now we have the big important 68. Shane Tamura, 68. Donald J. Trump, 68. Donald John Trump, 68. Manhattan, New York, 68. Active shooting, 68. Trump assassination, 68. This happened 6 months and 8 days after Trump took office. We had the Minnesota lawmaker who was killed on Trump's birthday, the day of the No Kings protest. Minnesota lawmaker, 68. No Kings protest, 68. Trump's birthday, 68. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the main point, the suspect, I went through all these earlier. You'll have to go back and listen for all the connections. We basically did a recap of the whole Minnesota lawmaker thing. But anyways, remember the suspect was Vance Bolter. Vance, right? Like J.D. Vance would become president if something happened to Trump. But anyways, that was in Minnesota, 133.52. James David Vance, 133.52. President, 133.52. But anyways, Minnesota lawmaker, 68. That was on Trump's birthday, 68, the day of the No Kings protest, 68. Remember, we got the shell formation from Comey, shell formation, 68. It said 86-47, Butler shooting, 68. They blamed it on the head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, 68. The would-be assassin was Thomas Crook, 68. The Apprentice, 68. Mar-a-Lago, 68. Donald J. Trump, 68. And why am I bringing up these 68s again? Shane Tamura, 68. Manhattan, New York, 68. Active shooting, 68. 6 months, 8 days from the inauguration. And what happened? What happened 6 months and 8 days before the inauguration? We had Butler, rally shooting, 68. And then a few more 68s for you. We had this story. Iran could assassinate sunbathing Trump with a drone attack. Sunbathing Trump, 68. Drone attack, 68. We had Robert De Niro, who was outside the hush money trial. And he was in Taxi Driver, which inspired Hinckley to attempt to take out Ronald Reagan, who had Make America Great Again. Anyways, in that movie, Taxi Driver, which equals 68, he plans to take out Charles Palantine, 68. And then back to the 88s, here's the scene with Palantine. You see this one guy with the 88 in the crowd. Right? What are the odds? And then Robert De Niro is in another movie called Machete, and he brings up 68 cents. He plays a politician, and he talks about 68 cents while a sniper is on the roof. Senator McLaughlin giving a speech about border security and immigration sounds like Donald Trump. And during the speech with the sniper on the roof, he says, "Let me tell you what change that'll bring, 68 cents. And then Senator John McLaughlin, 95-112, like President Donald Trump, 95-112. And then we had Travis Keith Lang, equals 68. He made threats against Trump. And he's 47 years old, like Trump equals 47, and Trump is number 47. And then I think we went over all these 68s. And then remember, Kimberly Cheadle equaled 68, like Butler shooting. And then Kimberly Cheadle was also 256, like Butler, Pennsylvania, 256. And if you think it's all a coincidence, Trump was shot 666 days after she assumed office. How about that? And then back to the 68s, he was indicted for the classified documents on June 8th, 6/8, like Donald J. Trump and Donald John Trump. And that was for the classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, and Mar-a-Lago was 68 and indicted 68. And then he was allegedly shot in Butler 48 weeks before his birthday. Donald Trump 48, Trump shot 48, Trump rally 48. And Butler was on the 195th day of the year. Trump shooting 195, the one victim, Corey Comparator 195. Then he got threats from Ronald Lee Sivrud 195 and Trump head wound 195. And speaking of head wound, in Butler they did symbolism from Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. That equals 1,086. Crooks was exactly 1,086 weeks and 0 days old. Gunshot wound 1,086. Thomas M. Crooks 1,086. The president 1,086. And look at the suspect's name from New York, Shane Devin Tamura, 1,086. And that's Revelation 13:3, right? And he's from Las Vegas, Nevada, 133, like government 133, White House 133, president 133. Back to James David Vance, 133, Minnesota 133. Remember the Minnesota lawmaker on Trump's birthday by a guy named Vance. And then back to the 222. So let's pull up Vance Bolter. And again, I recapped all this stuff earlier if you want the full decode. But back to the Minnesota lawmaker on Trump's birthday, the suspect, Vance Bolter. VB, right? V equals 22, B equals 2 for your 222. And look at the tip number, 222. Like Big Beautiful Bill, BBB. But anyways, this happened in New York, New York. Remember, Trump's from New York. But New York, New York, 222. Donald John Trump Sr., 222. Donald John Trump dies, 222, which I had to cover up for Facebook, but there you go. Donald John Trump dies, 222. Trump Organization, 222. The suspect, Shane, 222. Trump, 222. And Trump just won the election 222 days from his birthday. Ivana Trump died 222 days from her birthday. Don't forget, Ivana equals 222. Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday. And there was a 222-page lawsuit against the Trump Organization where Trump took the stand 222 days from his birthday. And the first U.S. case of COVID was 222 days from Trump's birthday. Wuhan coronavirus equals 222. Declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. Then Obama tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday. Declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday. And don't forget the Antichrist, Barack Obama, 222. Order out of chaos, 222. As above, so below, 222. Antichrist system, 222. The beast of Revelation, 222. The word beast, 222. The list goes on. And then including the end date, it was 322 days. 322 days before Trump's birthday. 322, the number of skull and bones, and then skull and bones equals 76, like Donald John Trump, 76, active shooting, 76. Remember, John Michael Ozzy Osbourne equaled 322, and he died at 76. Like the Georgia Guidestones opened on 322, went down on 76. On George W. Bush's 76th birthday, member of Skull and Bones, and they were built under the alias R.C. Christian, which is 76. And also was connected to Obama. Don't forget Barack Obama equals 76, with the 76 is all over Obama's movie. And yeah, there's a lot I could say about the 322 and the 76, but for the sake of time, we'll keep moving. Manhattan 29, Gunman 29, Trump 29. Remember, Butler was 29 days after Trump's birthday. And now we have the birthday of Shane Tamura, which is January 19th. So this happened 176 days before his birthday. Shane Tamura, 176. NYPD officer, 176. Donald J. Trump, 176. And it happened 27 weeks after Trump took office, and the suspect is 27 years old, and Ritual is 27. And this guy was born 220 days. The suspect was born 220 days after Trump's birthday. Donald John Trump, 220. Remember they said Vance Balter was 220 pounds? Right here. He weighed 220 pounds, impersonating police, 220. And it also happened on day with 60 date numerology. New York City, 60, police 60, Blackstone 60, Donald Trump 60. And not including the end date, it happened 321 days before Trump's birthday. In Manhattan, 321 at the Blackstone building, Blackstone 321, 321 days before Trump's birthday, not including the end date. How about that? President of the United States, 321, and the suspect was born in Hawaii, 321. And it happened on the day with 156 days left in the year. In New York, New York, 156. On Park Avenue, 153. When you write out 33, it equals 156. And the 156 prime is 9/11, and 9/11 happened in New York, New York, 156. So he took himself out on the 33rd floor, right? And of course, New York equals 33, and police equals 33, and the police officer he shot was named Ditterall, 33. He's from Hawaii, 33, and Masonry, 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. And for the record, the mayor's birthday, September 1st, it was also 330 days from the mayor's birthday. Speaking of the 222, don't forget the mayor. The mayor tested positive 222 days from his birthday. Remember that? Here, let's see. I think it's in the NB181 post. Nope, not that one. In the U.S., we got the news of NB181 on the day, leaving 222 days left in the year. Like Wuhan coronavirus, Event 201, World Economic Forum, right? And declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. And Obama tested positive 222 days from his birthday. Declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday. And there it is. New York City Mayor Eric Adams tests positive for COVID. April 10th, 222 days from his birthday. When New York, 222. How about that? And then remember, the first U.S. case was 222 days from Trump's birthday. And he won the election 222 days from his birthday. And he took the stand 222 days from his birthday. And a 222-page lawsuit against the Trump Organization, 222. Remember when he bought a Tesla to help the stock price, and the stock price opened that day at $222 a share? And then Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday, and Ivana died 222 days from her birthday when Ivana's 222. Anyways, yep, Eric Adams tested positive 222 days from his birthday. Let me take a sip of water. Jessica Chen, who was on the second floor of the 44-story building, said she and about 150 people were in the middle of a presentation when the shooting started. Jessica Chen, 9642, like Freemason, 9642. Jessica Chen, 66, New York, 66, mass shooting, 66. Jessica Chen is also 201, like the Jesuit order 201. Decoded Islam is the police officer. He's got the 201, like the Jesuit order 201. And on the guy's ID, it says, or his concealed carry, it says Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department 201. And then this happened at the Blackstone building. And it happened 201 days before the birthday of the Blackstone CEO. And his name, Stephen Schwartzman, he was a chairman of President Donald Trump's Strategic and Policy Forum. And then if you go back earlier, you can hear all the 201s with Ozzy Osbourne, Hulk Hogan, Malcolm Jamal Warner. The key point, they all had 201 connections. If you add up their ages, 76, 71, and 54 equals 201. If you add up their three names, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, equals 201. We went through all those earlier. And then Stephen Allen Schwartzman, 95-112, like President Donald Trump, 95-112. And back to the CEO of Blackstone, his birthday, February 14th. This mass shooting happened 165 days after his birthday, mass shooting 165. And then we heard from Alexander Stupak, 187, New York shooting 187, Society of Jesus 187, that's the Jesuits. And it happened 191 days from Shane Tamura's birthday, active shooter 191, and I covered the 191 connection with Stephen Paddock from the Vegas shooting. We talked about that yesterday. And remember, this suspect, he's from Vegas. And we had a shooting in Nevada earlier in the day. Remember, Nevada was 47. Like Trump equals 47, and Trump's number 47, and the officer was from the 47 precinct. Where's Stephen Paddock? Look, Stephen Paddock, the Vegas shooter, that was 191 days from his birthday. Like active shooter 191. Now this guy, the active shooter in New York, 191 days from his birthday. And Society of Jesus 191, that's the Jesuits. The leader of the Jesuits, Arturo Sosa, happened 107 days before his birthday when shooting 107. Decoded Islam, the officer, Decoded Islam 51, mass shooting 51. New York 666, the suspect was born in Hawaii 666, and then I went through all the 666 connections with Obama. And then Blackstone 102, Police 102, Blackstone 30, Police 30, Blackstone 60, Police 60. And remember, Donald Trump was also 60. And if anybody wants to help out, here's how you can do so. Very much appreciated. Got PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo. You can also mail something, and I could really use the help. So thank you to everyone who does support. This took a lot of work. I was up all night. But can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? He's got Trump's birthday right there, 6/14. This happened in New York. Trump is from New York. 44 days from Trump's birthday in the 44-story building on a day with 44 date numerology. Shane D. Tamura, 44. Jessica Tish, 44. That's the police commissioner. Shooting, mass shooter, gunfire, officer, kill. They're all 44. I mean, just those two slides alone. Trump's birthday on the card, and then the 44 connection, and then the officer from the 47th precinct, when Trump equals 47, Trump's number 47, and the guys from Nevada 47, Tamura 88, Shane 88, Trump 88, and then all that. He went up to Rudin Management 159, like mass shooting and Donald Trump. I mean, it's all there, man. The 68 connection, Shane Tamura 68, like Donald J. Trump, Trump assassination, Manhattan, New York, active shooting 6 months, 8 days after the inauguration. Went through all the 68s, man, that I've been keeping up with all these years. So, I mean, it's all there. He's even got the 1086, Shane Devon Tamura 1086. It's all there, guys. 176 days from his birthday. Shane Tamura, 176. NYPD officer, 176. Donald J. Trump, 176. It's all there, guys. Not including the end date, 321 days from Trump's birthday, when Manhattan 321 and Blackstone 321 in the same cipher. So, anyways, and then, I mean, even if you don't like the Trump connection, which I think is pretty solid, you're telling me it's a coincidence he took himself out on 433 when New York is 33, police 33, Ditterel 33, from Hawaii 33, Masonry 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. Is it a coincidence with the 156 days left in the year when New York 156, Park Avenue 156, right out 33 equals 156, and then you got all the 201s, Ditterel Islam 201, Jessica Chen 201, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department 201, 201 days from the Blackstone CEO's birthday. I mean, I think this is a pretty solid decode here, man. But yep, can you believe it, guys? Trump's birthday on the ID. 44 days from Trump's birthday in a 44-story building on a 44 date numerology when his name, Shane D. Tamura, like it's written on the card with Trump's birthday, is 44. Like Jessica Tish, shooting, mass shooter, gunfire, officer, kill, they're all 44. I think it's undeniable. All right, let me turn this around. Here, let me see what you said in the comment. You know, I think I did see that. Let me pull that up. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. So who was that left that comment? I did see that. I forgot to mention it. Shane Tamura was 330 months old when he died. Yep, he sure was. To go with all the other 33s. Here, hold on. And don't forget, Satan equals 330 for the record. And New York equals 666. Okay, so his birthday, which I have right here, January 19th, 1998. January 19th, 1998. So he was 330 months old, to go with the fact that it was also 330 days from the mayor's birthday, September 1st. So 330 days from the mayor's birthday, and the suspect was 330 months old. And of course, Satan is 330. And you drop the 0, and you got the 33. Let me go to the 33 slide. They're probably quicker to go this way. So yeah, that's a good addition. I totally forgot about that part. And I'm sure there's other stuff I'm missing, which I'll either put in the comments or I'll make a part 2. I don't see myself recapping everything again. I didn't even think I was going to make the slides. If you guys are watching the live stream last night, I was so tired, and I'm still very tired. I am mentally worn out. I've been live like over 10 times in the last week. But yeah, if there's anything else I missed, I'll put it in the comments or make a quick part 2 later. Or, yeah. But anyways, he took himself out on the 33rd floor, right, in New York, 33, police 33. The police officer's name, Ditterall, 33. He's from Hawaii. 33, masonry 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. And, yeah. So now we know he was also 330 months old. Dropped the 0, got a 33, and it happened 330 days from the mayor's birthday. But yeah, that's a great addition. 330 months old to go with 433 and New York 33. Does anybody else have anything that I missed? Yeah, and I think I remember hearing that Eric Adams is a Freemason, like openly. Here, let me show you that. To go with the 33, since it was 330 days from the mayor's birthday. And remember, New York is 222, like Order Out of Chaos 222, the motto. But Mayor Adams named Master Mason in secret Freemason ceremony at Gracie Mansion. Mayor Eric Adams and City Police Commissioner Edward Cabin were inducted Master Masons in a secret ceremony. There you go. So he's an actual Freemason. Mayor Adams named Master Mason. Wow. New York Mayor Eric Adams made a Prince Hall Mason. There you go. Anybody have anything that I missed? Let me know. But yeah, even if I did miss a couple things, I think that's enough right there to see that this was news by the numbers for sure. I mean, we knew right away with the 433 and the 44-story building and the 156 days left in the year. And then we started connecting it to Trump when we saw that 614 on his card, you know. But yep, there you go. Eric Adams is a Freemason. You guys have anything else? If not, we'll probably start wrapping this up. Thank you, Gene Splice. I appreciate it. Like there's always more to find, you know. If I sat here for an hour, I bet I could find a lot more, but only so much you can do. But I think we did a pretty good job. All credit to God. Yeah, Trump's hat. You got the 45 and the 47. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7, 11. 9/11. Yep. Don't forget MAGA is the highest degree of the Church of Satan. A lot of people think Trump's the Antichrist. I think he definitely is Antichrist, but I still think Obama is the top guy, hiding in the shadows. I think Obama's going to be world leader one day very soon. I think Trump's going to be removed from the scene. That's my big prediction. All these years, Trump's going to be gone. Obama's going to be the Antichrist. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. I know I'm missing something big. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to look any more into it unless somebody else finds something that's worth mentioning. But, yeah. Alright, guys, going once, going twice. Anybody have anything to add before we wrap it up? That was a good addition with the 330 months. Let me make sure I got all my tabs up here. I covered everything. But yeah, guys, I got 83 of you still watching. All right. If half of you, if just 40 of you could leave a comment. Hey, Dirk, much love. Yeah, you got to rewatch. 83 watching. If half of you, like 40 of you, could leave a comment when I get done, that would be awesome. It would really help out the algorithm. And hopefully some new people will find this channel and see what I'm talking about. I'm on channel number 14. So there's a reason I keep getting deleted and have to rebuild. And there's a reason I stay buried in the algorithm. They don't want this stuff getting out there. So anything you can do to help it, leave a comment, share this everywhere you can. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, whatever you got. Very much appreciated. And that would be great. But I think I'll leave it there, guys. I don't know what else to say right now. But anyways, guys, that is it for this one. Please like, comment, share, all that fun stuff. Hit the like and the share on the way out. Hope you guys, I'm tired. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, we'll see what happens next. All right, guys, as always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.